When credentials replace relationship. You join a meeting, share your screen, and the first thing the checklist asks is not "Who are you?" but "Show the badge, the code, the approval." Then a familiar teammate gets locked out because one button didn't recognize them.
Modern systems trust credentials more than relationships because credentials are legible to machines, auditable to managers, and scalable across strangers, while relationships are slower, local, and hard to measure. The impact is that identity becomes something you present and pass, not something you build and are known by. Start with what systems are optimizing for. Digital workflows, logins, access controls, purchase approvals, account recovery are built to reduce fraud, reduce liability, and move decisions faster. A credential can be checked in milliseconds. A relationship requires time, memory, and context. In a world of remote work, contractors, turnover, and cross-team handoffs, many interactions happen between people who have no shared history. So systems choose what can be verified without a story. There is an explicit constraint. A computer cannot know you in the relational sense. It can only match inputs to stored records. That constraint pushes designers toward tokens, passwords, keys, badges, biometrics, verified emails, signed documents. These artifacts become the units of trust because they fit the machine's limits. Then incentives tighten the logic. Security teams are rewarded when incidents decrease. Compliance teams are rewarded when audits are clean. Executives are rewarded when throughput rises and risk looks controlled. Credentials produce logs, and logs produce defensible narratives. Who clicked, when, from where. Relationships produce fewer receipts. When something goes wrong, a system can point to a missing credential. It cannot easily point to a missed conversation. A feedback loop forms. The more an organization relies on credential checks, the more work gets routed through gates that only credentials can open. That increases the value of credentials and decreases the value of relational knowledge. People learn what the system rewards. They invest attention in maintaining access, resetting passwords, collecting approvals, curating profiles, because losing access means losing agency. Identity becomes a maintenance task. There is also a real trade-off. Tighter authentication reduces certain harms, impersonation, data leakage, but it introduces other harms, false lockouts, surveillance externalities, and the quiet humiliation of being treated as suspicious by default. Stronger credentials can protect communities from bad actors. They can also punish the vulnerable, the new hire without the right device, the worker with inconsistent connectivity, the person whose name doesn't match a database field, the neighbor who forgets a code. The system benefits from clarity. People bear the cost of rigidity. And notice who benefits most. Large institutions benefit because credential-based trust allows scale, hiring faster, partnering faster, serving more users with fewer human intermediaries. Individuals with stable documentation and constant access benefit because credentials fit their lives. Who bears the cost? Those whose identity is more relational than documented, those with less access to devices, those whose work depends on informal trust, and anyone who makes one unverifiable mistake. The system treats their lives as edge cases. This is why credentials become more trusted than relationships. They are cheap to check, easy to store, easy to audit, and compatible with automation. Relationships are expensive to build, hard to translate into policy, and resistant to dashboards. When a credential becomes the primary proof of self, dignity shifts. A person is reduced to what can be authenticated: a match, a score, a pass-fail. Agency narrows to whatever the system recognizes, and responsibility quietly moves. Instead of a community saying, "I know you, I will vouch for you," responsibility becomes procedural. The system accepted you, the log shows it. Responsibility is distributed, not dissolved. This also reshapes attention. People watch notifications, approvals, and security prompts the way earlier communities watched faces and reputations. The mind learns to interpret trust as a green checkmark. Over time, relationships can feel optional, while credentials feel essential, because credentials are the gate to participation. And yet something human goes missing: the capacity to be known beyond a token. Systems can prevent certain harms, but they can also normalize a posture of distance, trust at arm's length. Intent is not impact. Even when the intent is safety, the impact can be a culture where belonging is conditional on perfect presentation. Notice where, in daily workflows, trust is granted by a credential
and withdrawn by a failed prompt. Consider what kinds of people become high trust simply because their documentation is clean, and what kinds of people are treated as recurring exceptions. Name the costs that never appear on the dashboard: the time spent proving, the strain of being doubted, the attention diverted from relationship into compliance. And notice without blame the moment when "I know you" is replaced by "show me you." Name the cost, not just the benefit. When trust is built mainly from credentials, people still carry the weight of being human. The work is to hold responsibility close, even when the system prefers a checkmark.